Stand by, everybody. Take a deep breath. 2 hours and 40 minutes on the clock. We have the two Porsche Penske Motorsport 963s leading a brilliant grid of 17 prototypes to the green flag of a racing at WeatherTech Raceway. Laguna Seca for the Motul Corsa de Monterey, powered by Hyundai. Big lock-up from the outside of the front row from Jaminet. He's going off, he's gone off, he's almost gone off with his teammate. They've both dropped down, and through goes Colin Brown in an opportunist manoeuvre. And already the two Porsche Penske Motorsports have loused up the start. That's a massive Horlicks for them, and they drop down into the midfield of the GTPs. Klaus Bachler and Alex Udell, can they do things better for Porsche? It looked like Klaus got a decent start. The Lexus, the AM Lexus rather, going wide at the start of that particular run. It was Jack Hawksworth in the 14 actually, who went wide at the first couple of corners. But my goodness me, Jeremy, we're to undo all of that good work that you put in during practice and qualifying. The best of the Porsches is the 6 car now, Mathieu Jaminet, and he's in third. I've got a feeling that Matt Campbell is at least a couple or 3 places behind him. Oh my goodness, Mr. Penske will not be pleased.
He won't. No, you're right.
Team manager told me that this kid, Klaus, has done more homework trying to prepare for the season, gone all the way back to 2019, looking at race notes, looking at races, in-car video, just trying to get himself up to speed as much as possible. But an incident just like what happened, which caused the penalty, some things you just have to learn in race, and that experience just pays off dividends, but you've got to earn it first.
You certainly do, and I'd love to get a little bit more intel on what happened there. Sometimes different people can be on the radio. He's leaving pit lane, maybe he's talking about the balance of the car. What did we do? And you don't hear the message to look for that red light. So I'm sure that Steve Bartolotti, the team manager there, FAF Racing, would have been given Klaus Bachler a reminder. Look for the red light. We're still waiting for the field to clear the stripe there before we can leave and get back on track. But either way, it went wrong, and now they've essentially lost a lap to the field.
Big dust up there, some of the runoffs here, dirt and sand and gravel to keep the cars from getting into the concrete barriers. Whoever was off there kept going, Cal. That's a good sign.
And that's what keeps this racetrack so challenging. It's low grip at the best of times when you have someone front wheels, and that sand is like putting little tiny marbles all over the race surface, and the tire just sits on top of it. That's what it feels when you drive this circuit, Dave. You never feel like the tire's really biting and gripping. It's just kind of up on top. It doesn't give you that confidence.
21 total GT cars in the event today. They are a mixture of GTD Pro and GTD. The difference being the driver lineups. That is a Corvette passing not for class position, but passing another GT car.
Yeah, and it's all down the driver lineup. The spec of the cars and the tires are exactly the same, so they should demonstrate the same speed. It's just where you see the red highlights on one of these GT machines. That's GTD Pro. You can have a Pro lineup. In GTD with the green highlights, those tires, when you go back for this reset, you also got to watch that you don't have any pickup as well, though, because the hot tires will actually grab some of those marbles, those little balls of rubber that have been shredded off these tires during the early part of this race. Almost snowballs the tires. You've got to get those cleaned off and prepped right before you go back to green.
So Brown, for the moment, does hold off Pipo Derani, completing the first lap after restart here.
So big moment there. That's Nazaroff. Now they just jumped on board this number 7 car. They were side by side, the two Porsches, earlier in this lap. Mistake through Rainey, and he's hit the wall. Big damage. Can't get to pit lane. He's had to stay out there.
Felipe Nasser in the Porsche. That's the number 7. The number 7. Yep. Into the wall, and trouble for that team. Oh, body work coming off now.
Yeah, just a big wiggle there through Rainey Curve, turn 9, lost control. Almost missed the barrier, but just clipped it right at the end. Just trying to feel the car out right now. It looks like all the wheels are pointing in the right direction, but that body work is going to be a big issue as it starts to tear itself apart. Talking about traffic.
But this is helping Andy, right? It's separating him from, well, mostly from the 91, but here he comes again. Here comes Van Berlo.
Well, he reads the traffic. He looks in that rear view facing camera a lot to just try and make sure he doesn't lose too much time, even with the faster prototype machines. I did kind of a survey with all of the cars or the drivers in the paddock a couple of years ago. I said, who's the toughest driver to pass? Townsend Bell was number 1 and Andy Lanning was number 2. Townsend,
our colleague who will also be calling the Indy 500. He's been known to not block, but choose a line that might be a little defensive.
Renger van der Zande, he's won here a couple of times, once in LMPC and once in prototype.
And right behind a second car back there was Patrick Pilet in the Porsche.
We talked about experience. The combined win total between Oberlin and Andy Lally, 99.
Oh my gosh.
65 of those for Bill.
That is a lot of victories. So even though the overall win here today is the one you might notice, if you win in class, that is a victory in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. There is the overall leader. It is Renger van der Zande trying to turn things around for Cadillac Racing. Get the gold Cadillac to victory lane. Has just a slight lead over Tandy.
The clock is on Tandy's side. I think there's going to be 3 more laps to go, looking at the time on the board and back time in it. In terms of the lap times, around about 1:16.421 is the fastest lap of the day by Alex Sims. There should be 2.5 laps essentially for our leader to complete to see the checkered flag here this afternoon.
And where will the traffic be? Will they catch it the same way that they did the last couple of laps?
Pretty clear sailing right now. There's just one GTD car up ahead of van der Zande and then a couple of P2 cars. He should have a pretty clean run to the finish. He survived that traffic exchange. He lost a bunch of that lead. He stayed calm. He didn't force her. Didn't have any contact, but Tandy is right there. Time is running out. Should be 2 laps to go.
He'll come by the flag stand here. Will van der Zande see the white? No, he will not. He'll see it next time by.
Stay focused. This is a big surprise. Did not expect to see this happen today after what the Porsches did in qualifying yesterday, but that's kind of the tale of the tape so far this season, where we've seen cars like Acura dominate qualifying at Long Beach, and then Porsche burst through for the victory there.
Oh, these cars are still so new. The hybrid technology racing in IMSA now in the GTP class. Teams and engineers and drivers, they're still learning about what it can do during the race. And one driver said this week, every weekend is a surprise. We don't really know what we're going to have until the race plays out. Right now, Renger van der Zande has it in his hands.
The battle there between Farfus there with the BMW, the red, white and blue prototype, the pink and white machine of Tom Blomqvist, defending champion here in the top prototype category as DPI machines last year, now the new GTPs. They won the Rolex 24. There was controversy afterwards where they had run afoul of some regulations with tire pressure. They've lost their mojo. They need a strong result. Colin Brown had an excellent start to this race here today, but couldn't keep this 60 car on top of the heap. Little lock up there into the corkscrew.
Trying everything he can to get that Acura through. This is the white flag for Renger van der Zande. 2.2 miles to go.
The lead is up over 3.5 seconds. It should be cruise control. Hit your marks. Bring it home. And enjoy this ride.
And the track is clear ahead of him. No big battles, no group of GTD cars to slow down the pace of this Cadillac.
Good points, though, for the 6 car, currently running second. They will extend their points gap a little bit at the end of the day. They will take a breather from IMSA competition and prepare for Le Mans.
A couple of weeks ago in Belgium, he was walking away from a destroyed Cadillac. Walked away in his health, but in his mind, could I do it wrong again? Would it happen to me again? Perhaps here in the United States. It is not. Renger van der Zande has kept it straight, and Cadillac Racing, Cadillac V-Series R, is headed toward the checkered flag.
They're not celebrating yet on the pit box, but it looks like it's going to go their way, Dave.
Final corner for Renger van der Zande at Laguna Seca. Yes, he brings the luck around. Cadillac will be in victory lane for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Wow, what a surprise. Seb's there, Bourdais. He's had a rough ride on it.
Here's the GTD winner. It is Kai Van Berlo. And having qualified on the front row, he'll take it. Or in the second row, he will take it to victory lane. GTD Pro, meanwhile, the Mercedes with a nice healthy lead over the Lexus. Unon takes it down the hill for the final time. The sharp left-hander, and he will take WeatherTech Racing to the top step of the podium.
Big battle behind him. I think Monaco has got around Pele for P2. That is huge for the championship leaders. If he can maintain that spot coming up the line.
And the 11th through as well for Mikkel Jensen. Another surprise, Calvin. How he did it, we're not quite sure. But an LMP2, TDS will be in victory lane.
He must have done it on pace. They had to pit later than everyone else. There was some controversy. They said the pit lane open light was late, but he must have just driven back through the field. That's the only thing I can make out of how he managed to get himself back to the lead of this race.
Sometimes a little frustration, make it a little quicker.
Speed helps.
Yes, it does.
He's got plenty.